So here's the thing, I'm not good at being a loose woman. I had like one slutty week in August, and wow, did it really take it out of me. Hooked up with 2 guys in the same week. I broke down. I was like, oh my god, they're both into me. How am I gonna tell them that I'm seeing other people that aren't just them? They're gonna be so upset. And then, you know, at the end of the day, neither of them ever spoke to me again. So it's crazy that I'm out here thinking people give a shit what I do. That's nuts. I'm out here crying like, I'm so sorry, did I hurt your feelings? And they're like, who are you?
You've slid into someone's DM, your dream guy. You finally get him. He comes and hangs out with you. You guys hook up, but now you woke up with like what? What was the emotion?
Shame, embarrassment, regret, insecure AF. And can I curse on here?
Yeah.
Okay, insecure as fuck. Like I said, I'd been doing the inner work. And this made me realize that I was not confident. I did not love myself. And I acted out of all of my insecurities that night, which led to just, it was like a shame hangover for like weeks, months. And all of those, plus he ghosted me. So like, you know?
A shame hangover. Okay, you just coined that. Because I was like, I don't think I've heard of the shame hangover before. But that is like a real thing that I think all of us...
I'm never going out with a dude again. I swear. I hate my life. Like, why can't I find one person?
I'm so tired of I'm always, every single time, I'm always attracted on serious guys. Why? What have I done?
Because he never took me on a date or even planned one in the house. Mr. Anxiety. Do not date a woman for 3 months. Her. Lead her to believe you want a relationship. Literally spend a whole entire week with her and then ghost her for 4 days and dump her and then...
I've said this before, and I will say it again. One more of you! One more of you! Lead me on. I flew out to see this guy. I flew out to see this guy, and he's still...
I've been talking to a guy. We've been texting. It was great. He said, I'm 5 minutes away from picking you up. I got all dressed up for our date. And boom, I'm blocked.
As women, we are fed this lie that you can have this super happy and productive and like fulfilling life. But when you look at men and women, men are biologically designed to go sow the seeds. There's a reason why you do not carry a child for 9 months. For women, it's like, I need to find this one specific partner. I can only be pregnant for 9 months. And so with women, there's a reason why, like biologically, hookup culture and just living with a bunch of people, this like sex positive culture for women, I don't think it's healthy because it's going against.
If you're a young girl and you find yourself in hookup culture or you find yourself super hypersexual, I need you to sit down and reevaluate your childhood. But how can it be women empowerment if it's giving men exactly what they want? Basically, if you're a younger girl and you follow me, please, 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 if you're a virgin, stay one until you know that this guy's...
That I could have a conversation with him, that he could be here with me, that he could have chosen me.
Trying to get a guy to commit or trying to see where things go, I indulged in hookup culture.
Why am I not good enough to date? If you want to hook up with me, why do you not want to date me? And then it's like, is it my personality? Am I that unsufferable?
When I tell people that I've never officially been on a date with someone, they don't believe me. But to me, a date is like actually going to a nice restaurant that someone's planned, and I've never had that.
Clearly, I'm not doing something right.
If you do not want to be with her, just tell me.
When I was little, I really didn't think it was going to be this hard to find someone.
When, like, I don't know how to fix this.
I just want a family.
I had to come to terms with knowing that I'm not a woman that men commit to or love. They want, but I've never had any big romantic gestures.
So it happened again. I had a date cancel on me and I got stood up.
And I have been stood up.
I know I deserve better. But he was that person for me.
Stop fucking ghosting.
And I'm tired of being single.
And I'm not capable to find someone who is able to get interested in me, in myself,
for a long time. I don't know. It's only about superficiality, relationships.
If we required commitment before sex, we would have more relationships.
I don't even condone drink dates. As a man, societally, he gets paid more. And his time that he has more of because he's not doing hair, makeup, and shaving his legs.
I would love to know, what do we need y'all for?
Women don't need men in order to make money to provide for themselves or take care of themselves.
Gorgeous, gorgeous girls don't cry over a boy in a car. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls don't need a boy.
I'm so sick of this. Like, I'm so sick of not feeling like a priority to you.
I need somebody to have my back. I do. I'm admitting it. I could say I'm a strong, independent woman that doesn't need no man, but I am saying I want a man and I need a man.
But every single time this happens, I always tell myself, like, oh, you'll get over it. Or, like, you're over him. It'll be fine, right? I haven't blocked his number, and he hasn't texted me since he ghosted me. He hasn't, not once. He ghosted me once, and then he ghosted me twice. The second time before he ghosted me, he's like, I want to make it up to you. I want to take you out on a date. I can't stop thinking about you. You did nothing wrong.
As he comes back into the car, he tells me, I don't think we're gonna have a good time. And I thought he was kidding, and I'm like, huh? He's like, I'm taking you back home, you're not my type. Oh my God. I'm sure it's because I'm overweight that he didn't want to go, like, continue the date or whatever. And I'm just like, wow, like, it was so fucking awkward.
But people don't just want to date me in my day-to-day life. Like, if he was actually interested, then the date probably would have gone better, you know? Like, this is our second date, and he's not once told me that I was pretty or that I looked nice, and he doesn't, like, ask me questions about myself, and I know that the answer is he's just not interested. Like, I'm aware of that, but, like, neither is anybody else, and at some point, I don't want to be single forever.
I gotta be real for a moment. As a 28-year-old single girly, a lot of the fine men have been baby daddied in the same way that a lot of the really hot girls have been baby mamaed. And it's like, they're good dads, but it's like, I don't want to date someone who has kids, but like, I totally understand why someone lets you get them pregnant, okay? I see the vision.
Hookup culture has become way too fucking normalized. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not perfect. I struggled with this a lot, but now I look back and I'm like, ew, you're gross. Like, get off me. Why did I let you near me? Like, it feels like I did such a disservice to myself that I'm like, icky. It's sad and it's unfortunate that it's normalized now to just go out drinking every weekend and go home with someone new. And it really doesn't matter how many people that you hook up with, that void that you feel is not going to be filled by hooking up with someone else. Like, it for sure is a good distraction in the moment, but how long does that feeling really last for? And then you're left feeling worse than you did before. And it honestly makes me sick to think that I used to do that. Like, what was I thinking? Did I think that would help? Because it sure didn't.
I'm 30 years old. Here's why most men won't date me. Well, I think you just told us why, but let's see. I wake up naturally before 6 a.m. No, that's not the reason. I work up 7 days a week. No. I have way too many hobbies. No. I don't watch TV. No. I expect direct it. No. Inconsistency gives me. No. If someone hurts or disrespects me, I quietly put no. I'm a lover girl to a foot. No. I have a zero tolerance policy for hot and cold. No. I don't entertain cat and mouse games. No. If you spend a lot of time with me, I will convince you that you're capable of everything you've ever dreamed of. How could that be a no? I read you like a book. No. I'm in a different country at least once per quarter. Okay, there we go. Now you're saying the truth. Yeah, that's a massive red flag. I am expensive. Oh, so you're a gold digger. You saved the last two for the actual reason that most men don't want to entertain a 30-year-old expensive woman. Oh, it's because I have a lot of hobbies. No, it's because you're a gold digging.
The problem is that men have always told me that once I reach 30, they're not going to want me anymore. But the other day at the dentist, my new dentist said that I looked 21. I thought I was 2 years away from freedom. Now I'm 9. It's messed up.
No, you right on track. You right on track.
Blue, shut up! Hi everyone. Blue! Anyways, why is dating in like your mid to late 20s so much worse? Like, I seriously feel like these boys, and yes, I'm going to call them boys, have learned nothing. Okay. For example, one person had been hitting me up on Instagram for a really long time, so I was finally like, okay, I'll just respond. Maybe we can make some plans. Maybe they're actually cool in person, right? And so we started having conversations. The conversations were going pretty good. And so they FaceTime me. I respond, and it's like within just 5 minutes of the FaceTime conversation, it wasn't that long, they were like, oh, put the phone down, let me see your body. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. And I said no multiple times. And then they like turned the camera around to their hand just like in their pants. And it's like, okay, no. And so I hung up, and now they're ghosted. Like, I'm 26 years old. And I'm not ugly. If I wanted some dick, I can find that wherever. Like, literally wherever I want. I'm not looking for that type of vibe. I'm sorry. Another person, so I went on Hinge, right? Another person, right when I matched with them, they send me, like, their Wi-Fi password. And I'm like, they're like, remember this code? And I'm like, what is that code for? They're like, that's my Wi-Fi password. Like, okay, what makes you think I'm going to be at your place? What makes you think I'm going to be at your place? Like, there's, Have you not seen the news? Like, there are serial killers out here. I need a couple dates to trust you. I do not want to end up, and I mean this in, like, seriously, like, the most genuine way. I do not want to end up in a suitcase. So, like, it's literally going viral that women are choosing bears over men for a fucking reason. I don't need your Wi-Fi password yet, sweetheart. I'm sorry. Like, I just, like, maybe I'm too strict. Maybe I am too strict. But it's like, I just want to be respected. I want to get taken out on a couple dates. Like, one person had said, like, maybe I'll even take you on a date. Maybe, motherfucker, maybe. What? Would you say maybe I'll take you on a date to your future fucking wife? Maybe. I'm 26. Like, I'm not looking to just fuck around. Like, I don't know. I'm just not looking for that shit.
Somebody in the comments said, it doesn't seem to me like you're genuinely interested in finding a mate. Otherwise, you wouldn't be using social media. The best connections are organic, but I don't see you doing any real work here. I think that you can find somebody on social media. I just think that a lot of these women, to your point, they don't really do a lot of real work. And so when they get the results that they get, it's kind of like, you know, what did you expect?
I'm just going to come out and say it, and this might not be a popular opinion, but don't hook up. Do not hook up with him. Don't hook up with him until he gives you exclusivity. Intimacy is an exchange of energy, and your energy is sacred. Only men who respect you, who are supportive and kind and loving and caring to you, only men who are willing to give you the connection and relationship that you desire, deserve to have access to your body. Only men who you want to be with deserve to have access to your body. Don't get intimate with men hoping that it makes them want a relationship with you. Remember, you're not trying to get him to like you. He's wooing you. He's trying to attract you. Don't hook up. It weeds him out quick.
I see what you're saying, and I agree. It just seems like this man a lot of times ends up being Chad and Tyrone. You know what I mean? It just seems like a lot of time for a lot of these modern women, the people that they deem worthy is the man who don't have no job. Is the man that don't have no job. It's the man who don't really have a whole lot going for him, but he can slang that thing, right? Or he might have a job. He might have a job, but you know he's out here to play around. You give him what he comes there looking for, but then the man that's actually doing the right thing, you make him wait.
Guys are so lucky. You guys do not understand. So I'm 25, right? I'm sitting here and I'm having to build a roster. I'm having to sit here and go out and do things I don't want to do. I don't want a roster. I don't want to go out and date. I don't like this hookup culture. I don't like any of it. But I feel like I don't have a choice. Men, you guys just get to sit there and you guys can go wait until you're in your 30s, you're almost 40, and you can just go get with a girl that's in her fucking 20s and live a normal life. Girls don't have that luxury. I'm now sitting here at 25 having to figure out how the to get back in these fucking streets so I can figure out, so 10 years down the line, I'm not sitting there single still with my daughter being an only child. Like, I want to have a family. I want to have kids. I want to be happy. Like, I want all of these things. But people don't want that nowadays, it feels like no matter, it's like, what is this dating stuff? What is Hinge? What is Tinder? What is all of this?
Okay, we'll stop it there. What is Hinge? What is all of this? Okay, this is quite a meltdown, right? Ooh, someone lost their mind. It's amazing how they have the meltdown and they tape it. And then they watch it and they're like, yeah, I think I should post this. What, honey? What? Why? Love, did you watch it though? Ooh. Okay. Glad you posted it though, because we have a lot to say. Okay. So honey, listen up, because you're asking for help. So I'm going to give it to you. You're 25 years old. You're young, right? The way that you get yourself, you want to line yourself up for marriage, for children, for all these things that you say you want. It's not by building a roster. It's not by racking up a body count. It's not by doing hookup culture. That's not getting you anywhere. The only thing as a female that's going to get you actually is you're going to get a lot of guys who ultimately won't want you. You are going to X yourself out of a lot of good guys, right? Now, that doesn't mean don't date. There's a difference between dating and building a roster. Okay. So you don't want to be building a roster as a woman. Okay. That's a negative minus. One little check goes in the minus column, right? For you. Okay. What you want to do, and I always say this to guys also, you don't want to be doing that. Hookup culture, building a roster, racking up the body, that doesn't serve you either. Okay, maybe it's not as damaging emotionally, but it doesn't serve you. So I always say to guys, you want to become the person who attracts women. You want to build up who you are. You want to be a financially successful, stable, healthy, in shape, well-groomed. By that, I don't mean the fancy designer stuff. I just mean, someone who takes care of themselves, cares about their hygiene, etc. You want to have a roof over your head. You want to be able to provide for the right woman. You want to have that ability. You want to be loyal. You want to be a kind, good person. You want to have good friends, good family, whatever it may be, good connections in the world, all of those things. That energy, that confident, capable, good quality energy will attract women. They will flock to you like a magnet. Now, women, same goes for you, but it's different things. You also, instead of building a roster and instead of doing hookup culture, instead of doing all the shit that's going to bring you negatives, you want to become a woman that guys are going to want, right? So you want to embrace your femininity. You want to be selective. You don't want to be known as the girl who is building a roster. You don't want to rack up a body count. That's undesirable to them. They don't want that. Yuck. Ugh, right? You want to be a woman of virtue. You want to be respectful. You want to be all of those things that we talk about all of the time. You want to be that and you want to exude that, right? So that you attract guys to you, good men to you. So this is not a game of like going out and just building up names and this, that, because this is about building up who you are and actually caring about building up the things that attract the opposite sex, right? So don't build up things that women care about if you're trying to attract men. Build up things men care about. Same vice versa. So she gets it wrong and it's frustrating and there's some degree of understanding that frustration, but man alive, honey. What you doing?
So before I get another message, yes, I did sign up for a dating app. And no, I'm not going to be on it past 24 hours. This is what I do. I jump on a dating app, swipe left on everybody, and 24 hours later I dip. Why? Because I just need a gut check every once in a while, right? Most men my age are looking for casual, and it's not what I want. And I think that's the common misconception of men these days. They think that they're entitled to just endless streams of women because of the internet, right? There's always something better around the corner. And that's the thing. It's like when you build a connection with somebody, it's not knowing that you have options. It's knowing that you're fully vested in the person that you're with. Because when you build a solid foundation with somebody, there are no options. The only option is strengthening what you have and loving who you're with. And that's something hard to find these days.
I'm 25 and I constantly feel overwhelmed that I'm wasting my life. I work about 50 hours a week. I try and go to the gym like 4 or 5 days a week. I constantly feel overwhelmed that I'm not doing the things that I want to do with my life and that I'm going to wind up 75 and not have done any of the things I want to do, like travel and see the world and make new friends and spend quality time with my family. I mean, there's literally an endless list and it constantly feels overwhelming to me. I want to have hobbies. I want to learn how to sew. I want to learn a new language. There's just not enough time. Constantly live in this state of being overwhelmed. I end up
just not doing anything. Honestly, I'm kind of tired of it. So I guess this is going to be my journey of holding myself accountable to actually doing the things I want to do. I guess it's a good thing because it's motivating me to try and be better and broaden my capabilities. But also, I don't know.
6.5 hours later.
Fingers down my spine. Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your fingers down my spine? Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your fingers down my spine? Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your...
Congratulations on getting in the gym and, doing your thing there. I think, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong here. I think if you want to like kind of like be more productive in other areas of your life, you don't have to stand out in your backyard and shake your behind. Instead, I would submit to you, if you take that time that you're doing what you're doing right now and you gotta move that over to other more productive hobbies, you might get somewhere. I thought I saw on your page that you were pole dancing too. Instead of doing those two things, like, you can do almost quite literally anything else. But you're young, you can do whatever you want.
Being a high achieving woman is so hard because let me story time with you. I'm currently on Raya and I matched with this guy and he's in town in Austin for the marathon on Sunday. And he was like, hey, I'd love to take you out, but like, just disclaimer, like, I'm in town for the weekend. Hopefully we could grab dinner together. And I was like, I don't really want that. Like, I'm looking for something serious. I'm good. Today after work, I was walking the trail and I was like, I am so bored. Like, I'm literally so bored right now. Let me just see what happens if I give him a call. So I call him, I'm like, hey, screw it. Let's go get dinner tonight. Then I had to proceed to plan my whole entire date. On the other hand, I'm going out with this very amazing, very successful man, a little bit older than me, but he has everything planned to the T, never have any anxiety about money, and he plans the most perfect dates. So it's like, do I date someone that is years above my career and like different wealth class, or do I date someone that's like my age, truly equals, and it just so happens I'm more mature? Like, there's definitely like a fine line right now between like me and guys my age versus slightly older, a little bit more mature. Because I feel like with all the guys my age, I'm planning everything for them. But also, like, I just have that planning personality.
I know you guys probably think that you're a little bit more mature. And once again, they continue to tell us exactly what we need to know. Well, I'm kind of a planner. Well, that's why you're planning a lot of stuff in the relationship. Because that's what you do. That's your inherent strength. I don't know if you guys understand it's okay to be good at what you're good at. Well, why aren't you planning? Because I'm not really as good at planning as you are. That doesn't mean that you don't do it. Right. I do plan, but I don't plan as much as you do, or I don't need to plan as much as you do, because I still get things done. Should you plan? Absolutely. It's great, but I don't have to plan everything out like you do. I make my list. I got my schedule, and I go according to that. What you like to do is over and beyond, which can work. It's not necessary. Why are you trying to, and this is what modern women do. You try to hold a man to a standard of something that you're doing over and above what you actually need to be doing. Oh, well, you ain't up to par. You ain't up to what I would need. He is. It's just that you want to do extra and keep people on your time schedule.
Dating is a weird concept because here's the thing. I talk to a lot of people. I don't go on a lot of dates because, one, I tell my friends and then they ghost. Or 1, 2, I tell my friends and then they say something that's like uber creepy. And what happened to meeting people in public? You know what I mean? But then I think about if a man approached me, I probably think stranger danger. So yeah, I think I'm just doomed to be single for right now, which is fine. I decided to re-download Hinge and I'm talking to a few people, which, let's be honest, will that pan out? Probably not. Because I'm talking about it and watch it just go away. And it never fails. I feel like every time I'm like, oh yeah, I'm talking to somebody, poof, they disappear. Which, is that more on me or more on them? I don't know. But, you know, dating is just a weird reality nowadays. And being single, I don't mind it. I would like a life partner and a husband and have kids and all the things. But if it's not in the cards for me, not in the cards for me. And I just have to be okay with it.
I mean, you have a lot of women that think at 45, 50 years old, the options are just going to keep on rolling in. I mean, my God, that man at 50 years old, you don't think that he has anything to do? Y'all think that men are going to chase you around for the rest of your life and you're just going to have this big pool of men. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. He might see somebody else that's younger and better looking. Well, you know, I get it. I understand it. But at 50 years old, going up into 55, why would he want to spend his time with somebody that brings drama? He might be trying to find somebody around his age, but the women around his age are having trouble letting go of their trauma, even though they said they're in therapy and they've done the work. At 50 years old, at 55, I don't know if I can make the commitment to be with somebody that's going to continue to dump and complain and nag. I have a limited number of years and I don't want to spend it, especially if I'm walking into my prime. I don't think I want to spend it with somebody nagging. Let me find somebody that looks good, is ready to have fun, and let the good times roll.
Why can't I ever be asked out by somebody who's my age? Like, everyone is always out of my age budget. Like, the first guy, I had got asked out by like 3 people in the span of like 2 days. The first guy, he was 17. I'm almost 20, so that didn't work. The other guy, he was like 25, so that also didn't work because he was too old for me. The last guy was just straight up insane. He's 30 years old, and I told him I'm like 20, and this man goes, oh, starts asking more questions. He's like, do you got a boyfriend? I was like, you're 30. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you're too old for me. And I walk away, and this man's still looking confused. I'm done. Like, can't I just look my age or find a man my age?
You know, I do sometimes feel like I wasted my youth by not dating, getting into relationships, and doing the things that go along with that. Because, like, I'm 40 now, and I'm old. Like, I'm officially old now. I'm going gray. I'm getting wrinkly. I'm going through changes. I'm old. And if I ever changed my mind and decided I did want to try to date, like, it's going to be exponentially more difficult than when I was, like, 22. And I do worry that the older I get, the more I'm going to regret the fact that I didn't take advantage of those years. And it's not that I didn't have any good times in my 20s and my teens and all of that. Like, I did. I had some very, very good times. But I worry that missing out on all of those parts of life are going to catch up with me at some point in the future and make me really, really sad.
So I've been seeing a lot of people my age, women especially, struggling in the dating world. And I just wanted to share some advice that I think would be really helpful. Don't be a liberal. That was it. Actually, that's all I got.
I have a hot take. Hookup culture is not empowering, but the reason why a lot of women think it's empowering is because it's a form of rebellion. Let me explain.
You really don't have to, but, you know, out of respect, go ahead.
So as women, we have to deal with a lot of double standards. Like, if a man wants to go sleep around with a bunch of girls, no one says anything. Sometimes they even high-five him for it. But if a woman does that, now you call her a bunch of names. And a lot of women get really fed up with these high expectations that society has for them. Because it's almost like you expect women to be practically perfect, but then you barely expect the bare minimum for men and you praise them for it. So I think the only reason why a lot of girls think hookup culture is empowering, it's not about the act itself. It's about defying the expectation that society has for you, right? Because when you put a woman in a box and you tell her what she should be, it pisses her off. Not because she has an actual problem with what you're saying, because she has a problem with the fact that you're trying to, tell her who she should be and how she should be.
So basically, you're setting up the basis for being emotional, is what it is. Well, I mean, even if you want to say, well, a guy shouldn't be doing that. Okay, I'm cool with that. But then you're going to go out there and get ran through. But go ahead.
And that's why I never call girls names when they're hooking up and stuff like that. Because I think it's almost like, a child, they have super strict parents and the parent is like, don't drink soda. And the child drinks like 6 cans of Coke every single day as an adult because it's like a rebellion thing. Like you tell someone not to do something so much, now they want to do it. It's like the forbidden fruit tastes the sweetest. But hookup culture is so much more damaging to women than it is men. I think it's toxic for everyone, for men, for women, for straight people, for gay people. Like it's always going to be toxic to be giving that energy and to be intimate with someone who quite frankly couldn't care less about you. Because think about this as a woman. Let's say we take away the shame, we take away the judgment. No one knows what you're doing, right? You know what you're doing with your body. Let's say you're talking to a guy and you like him and things are going good. We get to the 3rd date and you decide you want to sleep with him because 3rd date rule, duh. So you sleep with the guy and afterwards he starts acting weird, he's blowing you off, and then he tells you, I'm not looking for anything serious. Can you actually tell me that was empowering, that you slept with a guy who discarded you and doesn't care about you? Because as a woman, you are going to be more emotionally attached to a guy when you sleep with him. It's like the hormones in your body, biologically, you are going to feel some type of way about it. And the reason why it's empowering to be celibate and to wait until either you're in an exclusive relationship, which I think should be around like the 2-3 month mark. You wait 90 days, you wait until he says, I love you, wait until you get engaged, until you get married, like whatever your boundary is, no one can tell you what your boundaries are. But if you're going to do this so quickly and so easy, you are going to get hurt as a woman. Like I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm being honest with you. The women that they sleep with the guy really early on, I think it doesn't matter. It actually does matter because you can sleep with this guy and then you can put more love and energy into him and then he cannot care about you. And let me ask you a question. As a woman, if this happens to you with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different guys and the list goes on, aren't you going to get bitter? That's why I feel like women that they have high standards, they have a better experience from men, not because they're better, but because they don't allow that type of disrespect to take place in the first place. I'm not saying that if you have high standards, you're magically going to have the best dating life ever and no guy is going to disrespect you or piss you off. But when you have this filter and you're like pre-qualifying these guys, you'll have a better experience and you won't end up that bitter girl that says she hates men and she doesn't trust all men and all men cheat, all men do this, because she literally got the worst experience from men.
And I'm glad that you're really bringing up the example of drinking 6 cans of Cokes a day, because long after your parents are out of the picture, you're going to walk into the doctor's office who don't know you from Adam. And he's going to say, I've been looking at your numbers. You drink a lot of soda? Oh, well, yeah, and then you're going to try to go into your story about how you were being rebellious and your parents and all that other nonsense. And he's going to say, oh, yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. I have a good therapist friend that I can connect you with. I can refer you. Well, my insurance, and I can get all that taken care of for you. But I would really encourage you after we leave here, because this is going to get dealt with today. I encourage you to go to the therapist and talk about those things. Mental health is a part of your overall health. So you definitely need a strong mind in order to help you build back who you are physically. With that being said, your numbers tell me that this is the direction that you're going in. This number's too high. That number's too high. Yada, yada, yada. He ain't speaking to your parents. He's talking to you. And you going out there and drinking those Cokes was ultimately your decision. And now you got to pay the consequences. It was going to be what a lot of women think is they're going to go in for their physical checkup, to continue with this example, and I'm going to pay my $30, $40 copay. He going to say, hey, great, cool. It is what it is. Go on about your day. Or you got a little bit of an issue over here. Here's some medicine. But because y'all have gone so long doing unhealthy stuff, when you come in there, he going to give you a list after labs and everything of things that you shouldn't have been doing. And what's going to happen should you not change. And he's going to give you a prescription of things, medicine, dietary changes, lifestyle changes, mental health changes, in order to get you back to where you need to be, if that's possible. And this is what men continue to try to tell you guys. Y'all are on the wrong road, and you think that, oh, well, and you know, I'm not even going to go there. Some women make changes that they think is like, oh, just give me a pill and it'll be gone. It'll be done. Y'all make these changes thinking that it's going to really change, really like maneuver and change a lot of stuff. And these changes are permanent. Like nobody will ever know. And even if they do know, they won't care. And if they do care, they're insecure. Cope stage 1, cope stage 2, and cope stage 3. They're going to care. They're going to care. And no quick prescription, oh, I got in this club, or I went to this event, or I became a member of this club over here, or whatever it is, network over here, and now nobody knows and nobody cares. That's not how it works. It needs to be a lifestyle change, mental change, the whole 9 yards, the whole 9 yards, which a lot of modern women don't want to do. They don't want to do it.
I regret being a slut. I regret it because I regret that those men can say they slept with me. I know regretting most of my sexual encounters is not something a sex-positive feminist who used to write a column for Playboy is supposed to admit. And for years, I didn't. I regret being a slut. Upon opening Louise Perry's new book, The Case Against the Sexual Revolution, A New Guide to Sex in the 21st Century, I'm moved to tears by the dedication. For the women who learned it the hard way. Unlike many other people who have read and reviewed Perry's work, reading her book wouldn't be some academic exercise in contemplating how liberal feminism has let women down. It wouldn't be evaluating what those poor sluts over there have endured in the wake of the sexual revolution. Reading her book was personal. I am one of those sluts. I'm a case study for her thesis, a cautionary tale. I knew this book was going to be difficult, and it made me realize it's time to finish this essay, one I've been trying to write for 4 years. It's a tough needle to thread. I'm grateful for the ability to control my reproductive cycle and make my own money, but that freedom has come at a price. The dark side of the sexual revolution is that even though it liberated women, unyoking sex from the consequences has primarily benefited men. I was first inspired to write this piece when a 19-year-old woman I used to wait tables with asked me, Bridget, have you ever regretted having sex with a man? I laughed. Yeah, all of them. That's not entirely true. There was my first love in high school and my first husband. But if I'm honest with myself, of the dozens of men I've been with, at least the ones I remember, I can only think of a handful I don't regret. The rest I would put in the category of casual, which I would define as sex that is either meaningless or mediocre or both. If I get really honest with myself, I'd say most of these usually drunken encounters left me feeling empty and demoralized and worthless. I wouldn't have said that at the time, though. At the time, I would have told you I was liberated, even while I tried to drink away the sick feeling of rejection while my most recent hookup didn't call me back. At the time, I would have said one-night stands made me feel emboldened. But in reality, I was using sex like a drug, trying unsuccessfully to fill a hole inside me with men. Pun intended. I know regretting most of my sexual encounters is not something a sex-positive feminist who used to write a column for Playboy is supposed to admit. And for years, I didn't. Let me be clear. Being a slut and sleeping with a lot of men is not the only behavior I regret. Even more damaging was what I told myself in order to justify the fact that I was disposable to these men. I told myself I didn't care. I didn't care when a man ghosted me. I didn't care when he left in the middle of the night or hinted that he wanted me to leave. The walks of shame, the blackouts, the anxiety. The lie I told myself for decades was, I'm not in pain, I'm empowered. I knew it would be hard to read this. Looking back, it isn't a surprise that I lied to myself, because from a young age, sex was something I was lied to about.
Is this your story, or is this... I thought she was reading somebody else's story. Is this... Continue.
Long before I ever had sex, I felt ashamed of my natural sexual urges and awkward in my blossoming female body. Growing up Catholic, all I remember about sex was feeling bad about it before I even knew what it was. I only knew that sex before marriage was wrong. Even the thought of a sexual act or masturbation filled me with debilitating guilt. The first time I kissed a boy, I was convinced I'd be punished, struck down by an angry, misogynistic God. As I got older, I was told to guard my virginity. Well-meaning mothers and aunts were clear that I needed to withhold sex in order to get a man to love and respect me. Sex was a commodity, a priceless gem I had to hang on to that increased in value the longer I held it. It made me feel like property, and although I don't think that was the intention of the wise women who had learned their own lessons the hard way, for me, sex became inextricably linked to my self-worth. The shame and guilt I grew up with regarding sex felt oppressive. I resented the double standard that men could be promiscuous and it would raise their status, and a woman would be slut-shamed for similar behavior. My burgeoning sexuality would unfold as a reaction to these repressive religious orthodoxies, old-school notions of sexual status, and trauma. I lost my virginity at 17 to my boss at a restaurant where I worked. And a year later, I experienced my first sexual trauma. I felt damaged and dirty, and I blamed myself. Everyone responds differently to these situations. I dealt with the overwhelming shame by becoming hypersexual and promiscuous. The culture was right there to pick me up and dust me off. I doubled down on being a proud slut and internalized the biggest and most damaging lie, that loveless sex is empowering. I basked in the girl power glow of that delusion for decades, weaponizing my sexuality while convincing myself I was full of the divine feminine. I was full of shit. I told myself that because I could seduce man, I was powerful. But as Perry says in her book, women can all too easily fail to recognize that being desired is not the same thing as being held in high esteem. Deep down inside, I knew that to be the case. But as a defense mechanism, I created a man-eater persona. My mantras were rigid. You can either have a career or a relationship, but you can't have both. Intimacy is creepy. Motherhood and children are a trap. Sex is only about power. Another set of lies built on trauma. Sex isn't just about power. It's also about intimacy and vulnerability and trust. Things I wanted nothing to do with. Because implicit in modern dating is a complete lack of expectations, especially those of chivalry. Whenever a man wanted to pick up the tab or pull out the chair or open the door or pick me up or take me to dinner or see me during the day or wait longer than the first date to have sex, I was shocked and suspicious of them.
Yeah, because you were listening to losers. And now you're ruining your life. Just like that, once again, that example of, oh, well, if your parents tell you or somebody tells you not to drink 6 sodas or 6 Cokes a day, and you grow up and you say, all I'm going to do is drink 6 Cokes a day. You're no longer worried about them. You need to worry about yourself. Because when you and that doctor have a little talk, then he's going to be like, why were you drinking that? And it's going to be all over. It's going to be all over. Hey, unless you make these changes, you're near the end of your life.
Was he a serial killer? Casual sex is fraught with insecurity and miscommunication. Intimacy and love are punchlines. When a man I slept with had the courtesy to reach out, I mistook relief for happiness, rewiring my brain to be grateful for the bare minimum. The saddest realization is how low I set the bar. A lifetime of allowing myself to be the other woman, taken for granted or treated like a doormat under the false pretense of being empowered, came to head one night with the arrival of a text message from an on-again, off-again lover. "Good night, baby, I love you," it said, quickly followed by "wrong person." Rock bottom doesn't always look like losing everything or ending up in jail. Sometimes it can be that sick feeling in your gut when you know emotionally you're done. I wanted to be able to have meaningless sex like a guy, but it didn't work. After years of writing for Playboy, I've learned it doesn't work for a lot of men either. For years, I tried unsuccessfully not to catch the feels. Even that expression is so telling about the way emotions are viewed regarding relationships, as if they're a cold or a flu or some kind of sickness you need to get over. Sex can be empowering when you're coming from a position of healthy self-esteem. If you're coming from a place of trauma or insecurity, casual sex won't heal that. In fact, it might set you back and undermine any progress regarding your feelings of self-worth. If you know your value, you're less likely to sleep with someone who doesn't value you. Cherish yourself and you will be cherished. You shouldn't have to withhold sex for a man to respect you. He should respect you regardless. Sexual empowerment has nothing to do with how many people you do or don't sleep with. It has to do with how comfortable you are in your skin, no matter your decision. It's not about waiting until you're in love to have sex. It's about making sure that first you love yourself.
So you're close, but ultimately, because modern women think the wrong way about a lot of stuff, you're going to end up back in that same position. Your mind was that. It's just you didn't get. Your mind is that way because your mind is that way. You are rebellious, regardless of I was in opposition of this, and because I was repressed over here and oppressed and depressed and all that other nonsense. Great, but that's the way you actually are. You don't want to listen to anybody. You want to do what you want to do, how you want to do it, whenever you want to do it. That's why you're doing it. That's why that little caveat at the end was like, well, I should be able to do this, 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 and this, but I don't want to benefit men. That's the tightrope that a lot of these modern women walk, is them thinking, oh, well, I just do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, but it's going to be on my terms. That's why I'm doing OnlyFans. That's why I'm going out here and doing this nude shoot, because, you know, it's done tastefully and how I feel comfortable. It's all the same. It's going to come out to be the same thing. These brothers don't really care nothing about what you got going on. You're still telling yourself a lie.